Hey guys, Horizon here, coming at you with my Altergeist Numeron deck profile. If you like what you see, please leave a like and a comment. Also, if you want to see more live duels, please leave a comment about that as well. But anyway, let's get started with the monster lineup of Altergeist Numerons. For starters, we have 3 Altergeist Meluseek. I don't know why it's started there, but 3 Altergeist Meluseek, really just there to search for whatever Altergeist monster on when it's sent to the graveyard, also for the disruption of when it attacks, to send cards from the field to the graveyard. Next, the 1 Altergeist of the Tuner. I'll tell you a little bit more why I run this. This is just a Altergeist fill-up. Next to Sequidius. Sequidius is just a good way to, your greatest disruption, honestly. It's just the best thing to recur your spells and your traps, not spells, your traps from the graveyard. Also just get that bouncing and stuff back in your hand like Multifigure. Next, the boy who came off the ban list, 3 Multifigure. You must play 3 Multifigure. It honestly helps a lot, especially when you're fighting against Eldritch and Emancipator. Just because at the start, when we had 1, we could not out their board and couldn't grind with them. But now, since we have the 3 Multifigure, we actually have a chance of outgrinding them. Next on the lineup, 3 Marionetter. Marionetter is just an overall good card just for the normal summon, set a Altergeist spell or trap. Why don't we keep saying spell and trap? Altergeist trap card. And for the ability to send any Altergeist card, including itself, to revive any of your Altergeist monsters in the graveyard. 1 Kankiri, because of the fact that it's kind of a break in your hand. I originally was playing 2, but I have decided to trim it down to 1 because of the new Numeron support that just came out in Battles of Legend Armageddon. But really, it's just there it's there for the special summoning and to turn off a card like maybe a Floodgate that's bothering you, or to negate attacks that really could kill you, like a Borrelsword. And lastly, for the monsters, I play the most degenerate card that just came out, Numeron Wall. This card has the effect, if you control no cards, you can discard this or from the hand or field to the graveyard to activate 1 Numeron Network. It also has the effect of like the end of damage step. You can special summon this card from the hand, but that's not going to be important. The only real card is to activate Numeron Network from your deck. I don't know why I paused there. I just was going to say something else, but I didn't. And really, this is the last cards, 2 Ash Blossom. Honestly, I don't like how so many people are playing hand traps. This is more a kind of budget variant. You honestly, Ash Blossom's gotten a lot better when it comes to budget variants because of like the structure, like the Solar and Structure decks, or just its multiple reprints. But Ash Blossom for me is a brick in my hand because of the fact it doesn't give me what I need. But anyway, moving on to the spells, we play 2 copy of Pot of Expensive, or just Extrav. You really need to see that draw power, and also I don't know if I want to replace this just because of the fact I'm playing the Numeron engine. I have to have the 5 number monsters, including Zexal, in my extra deck. And if I banish them, it's kind of, I lost that part of my engine in my deck. So I don't know if I want to replace these or not, but if you can't afford these, it's understandable. This is kind of expensive. So your other options are the Spellbook engine, or possibly the it's kind of a risk like Magic Planner, send 1 continuous trap to draw 2 cards. It's really just going to be on par with thing, but there is other options for extravagant spellbooks, Magic Planner, and sometimes I actually can't remember the third one, but those are typically the other budget options. Next, 1 Pot of Duality, just to dig into your extra deck. I only play 1 just because you kind of want to special summon a lot, like normal selling Meluseek, making Link Kuriboh, adding Multifigure, or the Numeron engine, discarding Wall, special summon, activate Network, send Calling, special summon your 4, mix Exel. Then next, 1 for 1. This is just another way to either get Meluseek or Numeron Wall onto the field to either get their effects to search for Altergeist monster or activate Network from your deck. And lastly, 1 calling, 1 Numeron network. I only bought 1 box of Battle Legends, so I didn't get really lucky. I did get lucky pulling a network and a calling, but I don't know if I'll be running more than 1 of each. I know this is mostly a Garnet, and this you typically want to have 3 of, but on my ratios, I'd rather just have 2 to 1. Because you already have 5 ways to search it in this deck, it's kind of a brick after turn 1. If you already pulled off the combo, you want to see your traps more than you want to see network, because you already pulled off this Exo combo. Lastly, moving on to the traps of the main deck, we play 2 Altergeist Protocol for the negate and the prevention of being negated. During 3 personal spoofing. Honestly, personal spoofing is just a really good card for the fact that it's a soft once per turn, so if you have multiple spoofings on the field, you can just not once per turn, just shuffle things back into the deck to get cards like Sequidius is not once per turn, so if you have multiple spoofings, you can just go where they attack, Concurry, negate the attack, resolution, spoofing, shuffle back, add Concurry, and then when they attack again, Concurry activates again, negating the attack, and then you can keep doing that depending on how many personal spoofings you have onto the field. And it's kind of fun doing. It also gets you a lot of the cards that you need, like adding Faker to summon Faker. 1 Elfila and 1 Manifestation. Elfila, I can't really pronounce his name. This is just for protection. Its effect is you can activate it. It special summons itself as a light spellcaster 1800. I think it's a light. It's okay. It's a special summon this card as an effect monster spellcaster light level 4, 1400 attack, 1800 defense. Also, this is treated as a trap. If this card is summoned this way in the main monster zone or in the monster zone, this is also still treated as a Altergeist trap. No, just still treated as a trap. The Altergeist trap cards you control that cannot be destroyed by card effect, or they can be targeted by card effect. So typically it's also good in the mirror, or just when people are trying to cycle in your stuff. And the Manifestation is just a monster reborn, and with some kind of cool combos that I'll get down later in the video. Next, 3 Crackdown, because you like stealing people's stuff. Everyone likes taking things and triggering the multi-figure, don't they? I don't know. Nextly, we have 3 of the Old Man and another 3 set of the Old Man. So Strike and Judgment. Judgment for the spell trap and summon negations, and Strike for the special summon of monster or monster negation. Lastly, my spicy tech of a 42 card deck is Dark Renewal. Dark Renewal has the effect of when opponent normals or special summons a monster while you control a spellcaster, you can target both those monsters, your spellcaster and that monster that was summoned, send them both to the graveyard, and special summon a dark spellcaster from your graveyard or deck. So typically what I like to do will be grabbing the Meluseek. So you normal summon Meluseek, you keep it on the field, you set your back row. Let's just say you have Meluseek and Dark Renewal. So you set your Dark Renewal and normal summon your Meluseek. Now you have the combo when your opponent normals or special summons, you can activate it, tribute their monster, and send your monster to the graveyard. Special summon multi-figure from the deck. And then chain blocking, multi-figure 1, Meluseek 2. Meluseek adds a monster, Altergeist monster, and multi-figure summons Sequidius from the deck. So typically it's just another disruption. That's also just a spicy tech. Moving on to the extra deck, we have, I guess we can call it 3 Karibo Boys, 1 Almirage for the normal summon and to link off Meluseek to search for the faker, 3 Altergeist Hexia because you gotta play 3 for the spell and trap negate. Also, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can search Altergeist trap, or actually Altergeist card. 1 5-headed God Dragon, or 5-headed Link Dragon. They ain't really like the god in the name, but you know Konami, they have to take out anything religious. The reason why I play this card is because of the fact that every single Altergeist monster is a different attribute. They're all spellcasters, but they're all different attributes. So if I get every single monster on the field, I can make 5-headed God Dragon. He's unaffected by card effect, and on top of that, he can nuke the board. Not bad. Next, 2 of the most confusing card that people don't know why I play of. a Altergeist Synchro monster. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I cannot. So the reason why I play this card is because of certain cards on my side to out or to get rid of. Well, I'll talk about that later. And his effect is when an opponent declares an attack, I get to return one Altergeist monster from my field to back my hand to negate the attack. Also, when it's tributed, I can when it's sent to the graveyard because I think an Altergeist card effect. No, if this card is tributed, you can special this card back from the graveyard. So typically, because of the fact that Hexia tributes to negate, you can have an infinite link, or an infinite, well, technically a once per turn, but you always get a body for Hexia to negate. Because of the fact that Hexia activates the effect to negate, sends where Altergeist Synchro, the Synchro to the graveyard, and then the Synchro comes back again, boosting Hexia again, and the next turn has another gate. So you don't have to wait to normal summon the Marionetta or get other monsters onto the field. And lastly, the Numeron part. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and Zexal to top it off for the 15th card. These are here for the OTK part of Numeron because all their effects have the effect at the end of the damage step after this card battled. You can double the attack of all Numeron monsters and they cannot be destroyed by card effect. Or it cannot be destroyed by battle. And then Zexal, because of its summoning condition of 3 XYZ monster with the same rank, or 3 number monster with the same rank, says they're all number monsters and they have the same rank. You can summon this by using 3 Numerons, make Zexal, and basically tell your opponent to not play Yu-Gi-Oh! By just going detach, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of the turn. That's the only effect applied to him. That's really important. But anyway, now moving on to the side deck, we play 3 copies of Inspector Border. You know, the best card in the game. Typically when you normal summon this, your opponent cries because you think they're playing stun. The reason why I play this card is because of the fact that a lot of these decks are playing heavy combo and they must activate their monster effects to do things. And so it's just normal summoning Border and sitting on back row is actually not a bad strategy. It does hurt you because it's more of a combo deck, but it's really good because of the fact once they out it, they've already put too much resources onto the field to pop off, or they don't have enough time to pop off because they already have used their battle phase, or they've found a way to out it by using multiple turns. And so by that time, you should be able to kill your opponent through card advantage. Well, that's the end of the monster lineup. Moving on to the moving on to the traps, I guess. 2 draw discharge, yeah. This card has the effect of when your opponent draws cards, you can activate this, make them reveal the cards. If it's a monster, burn them for the amount of attacker they have. Also, on top of that, you get to look at their hand, and then any card that they did burn for, they banish the revealed cards. It's a kind of a tech card that I played for the dangers, any draw 2 effect like Pot of Extravagance, or maybe like what would be another draw 2 card? Maybe like a Hand Destruction or something. It's just typically there for when people add cards to their or draw multiple cards. You want to get rid of the cards that they are trying to get. Next to Altergeist Haunted Rock. Haunted Rock is an interesting card just because it's typically there for the Marionetta combo, and I'll explain that later in the combo portion of the video. And this is honestly a not bad card. It also has the effect of, so the first effect is you can activate this, or if this was set because of Altergeist card, you can activate the turn set by sending and then activate it by sending an Altergeist monster. And if a trap is activated, you can negate it by sending an Altergeist monster from your hand to the graveyard. So it's not bad, and it allows you to negate evenly matched if it becomes a problem. Next, 1 Imperial Order, because you hate spells. Next, 2 Witch's Strike, because who doesn't like fighting Altergeist and going Witch's Strike on your opponent? 3 Compulse, because bouncing is fun. And lastly, my funny tech card, 2 copies of Exchange. The reason why I'm playing Exchange is because in this format, post-Battle of the Legend is going to be very, very tricky because everyone's be playing the Numeron engine. And so my theory is that with that is because everyone's playing Numeron engine, what's Exchange is so they even open network calling or Numeron wall, you can just go activate Exchange. I'm going to take your Numeron wall, and then you give them something like maybe like a judgment or something, and then you activate it and you basically tell your opponent to not play the Yu-Gi-Oh! So typically you just want to steal everything you get.